Hey Legacy community, it's Terramaster, and today we have a rematch of Mania here, as I'm here with the losers bracket finals of the July Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy 3-deck match speed duel tournament, and we have FivedimensionTCG or Link Master at the bottom here, and we have Hopihops at the top. This is Hopihops' rematch because his first loss in this double elimination tournament was to Fivedimension and Fivedimension first loss in this double elimination tournament was was against Bylot, who is awaiting the winner of this match to go against to determine who will win the entire tournament, as Bylot is still undefeated and both of these players have lost one match each. So, once again, before I get started, I want to quickly mention that our Discord will, as always, be in the description below. So will the playlist for this tournament, all the replays from this tournament, which includes the first one I did, which has the explanation of the 3-deck format, as well as the double elimination format, I guess, for this tournament. And also have the FivedimensionTCG Discord, as well as the FivedimensionTCG YouTube channel. Great stuff on there. A lot of really great, pretty big tournaments he holds on his Discord, and good content on the YouTube channel. So let's get into the match. And let's see who wins the rock, paper, scissors. A bunch of draws here, and Hopihops finally does get the win, so he will choose to go second. As we see that classic Moth versus Inner Conflict matchup here, very meta relevant. As Link Master will choose to simply set Dekoichi and pass. Did not choose to activate Allure of Darkness on the first turn, even though he opened it. And Hopihops' hand is a hand of 5 trap cards. Well, this is pre-Jinzo, so this is going to be a very trap-heavy meta, just be warned. Here comes a Allure of Darkness now. Draw 2, banish Gap, summon Midoriya. 2600 total attack power on the board. However, when that Midoriya strikes, it will get Nightmare Wheel right away. However, he will take the 1400 from Dekoichi. Interesting, even though there's more attack power on the Dekoichi, he wanted to make sure he got the Midoriya stuck on the Nightmare Wheel. Nightmare Wheel does its job with the burn damage, and then the double Cyclone comes down, taking it out and taking out that face down Zoma. So I guess he figured that Nightmare Wheel had already done its job in stopping the one attack, and he doesn't really need it anymore. He's more worried about that other face down. So Zoma will go ahead and swing it to that Dekoichi and pass turn over. However, here it is, end phase Parasite, but he was ready. He had that Dust Tornado. That's why he summoned Zoma face up unafraid. That Parasite will go back into his deck, and he will redraw it right back. The good Parasite players always have 2, or as you can see here, 3 Parasite. So always be wary of the good players having multiple copies at all times. A Moth does come out by taking out his Zoma with Cocoon. Midoriya once again gets stuck on Nightmare Wheel, and the Moth attack will be blocked by Zoma in defense mode. He can't kill it. He's lower than 3500. He would lose. And now the Change of Heart Inner Conflict comes in. He tributes off the Moth and sets a Gap in defense mode. Interesting. I wonder if the reasoning behind that play was that he didn't want Midoriya to be able to destroy Gap, or he didn't want Gap to be affected by the face down. Let's see how this plays out. Nightmare Wheel on that face down Gap and 500 burn. Now that Gap is going to be stuck there as long as that Nightmare Wheel is, allowing FivedimensionTCG to simply pass turn over. Zoma will now attempt to take out that Midoriya. It will, and then Midoriya will go ahead and pop that Zoma. So now FivedimensionTCG seems to have quite the advantage, as unless that Nightmare Wheel, as it does 500 more, is taken out in one more turn, it's over. However, normal summon Gaia threatens lethal, but he does have not just 1, but 2 Sphere Karibos. So Nightmare Wheel will do its job, and again, they're using 3 different decks. So let's quickly move on to Game 2, Deck 2. Here we go with the rock, paper, scissors. I believe the 2 players coordinated, decided intentionally. And we go. We have here Cocoon and Twisted Personality. Oh gosh, I think I skipped to Game 3. Because it wouldn't make sense for Hopihops, since he lost Game 1, to have to go first ignore that. Let's go to game 2. Anyway, here's game 2. And I believe they intentionally picked their rock, paper, scissors in order to make Hopihops choose, and he chooses to go second. We have Twisted Personality coming down for Hopihops here, and there's that Spellproof Armor Spice coming down from 5-Dimension again. 5-Dimension will set to pass. Hopihops will set to summon Amazon Sage. Now the advantage Hopihops has for the rest of this match is, even though he is down 1 game, he doesn't have to worry about Parasite or Moth anymore. He can play his other 2 decks here really freely and really be a little more aggressive than he normally would be, because there's not going to be a big Parasite +2 turn coming from his opponent. And anyway, so we had some Dust Tornado action on a phase down Zoma, and then we had another Amazoness being summoned, Trainee, and we have a double swing here. Dust Tornado and Offering both get flipped over in order to prevent Sage from going off. And Sage is popped, as well as Dust Tornado. That was just Dust Tornado. And he plays a Ruler of Darkness. He will draw 2, banish, but Summoner's Art will allow him to get another monster, so he won't run out of those. Pendulum Machine will attack, get hit with the Nightmare Wheel. 500 burn, comes down. And then he has no answer to it. However, Nightmare Wheel is plenty of answer at this point, but that's until that Dust Tornado goes off, which he does not use before that standby phase. Amazon's Village comes down, giving him a nice little boost. And then Twisted Personality now has 3 counters, so he will remove and pop that Pendulum Machine. Remember how I said he has no real answer to Pendulum Machine? Twisted Personality, if you can get the counters on it, is the answer to everything, and that allows Hopihops to win game 2. Now, let's actually go to game 3, and I'm actually going to refresh this so it starts over, because I'm an idiot. Here we go. So again, rock, paper, scissors is done so that 5-Dimension can go second here. And now we've got Cocoon versus Twisted Personality, 2 of the strongest decks in the pre-Jinzo meta. Here comes a Curse turn 1 and a Wonder Wand. Wonder Wand is countered by a Wild Tornado. Here comes a Allure of Darkness, banishing his Fear Kuriboh. 2 face downs, and Curse will attempt to attack. However, it will get hit with the Nightmare Wheel. I don't know about that, but I guess in a way he was going to get a second counter anyway, whether with the Curse attack or the Nightmare Wheel. Anyway, let's see what happens, as the deck with the Moth always has the advantage. There's those 2 counters. There's the the snipe of the Moth from the hand. There's the Gravekeeper's Chief, 500 burn damage, and he will go ahead and try to swing in for a big 2700 damage. However, Zoma will come here to block Gravekeeper Curse's attack. It will do 1900 damage to 5-Dimension. Now, 5-Dimension does have maximum number of counters on Twisted Personality. However, his life points are down to 1600, which puts him in a big danger zone where if Moth running over either of these 2 monsters will be game for him. However, there is no Parasite. There is no Moth. There's only Gearfried, the Iron Knight. Let's see if Gearfried's attack goes through. It does 1000 more damage, but let's see if Twisted Personality popping Gearfried and the attack of Gravekeeper's Curse and Gravekeeper's Chief will be enough. Chief will be blocked by Nightmare Wheel. However, Curse will go through. The other Curse will come out due to Rite of Spirit, and that Curse's attack and burn damage will also go through, causing to have plenty of damage for lethal. He did have Dust Tornado for that Nightmare Wheel anyway, so I think 5-Dimension had this one in the bag. Unfortunately, when Hopihops did use his Moth deck, he did not see Parasite to be able to go for that big Moth play, and because of that, 5-Dimension was able to win this match, and he will have his fated rematch with Bylot for the finals to determine who wins the tournament, and that will be the next video. Terramaster out.